Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us, Sage, again, and welcome to the Executive Corner Expert Talks by Kalkine TV. And today's guest is Ms. Sophie Gerber, co-CEO of Sophie Grace. An Australian Securities and Investment Commission is continually running investigations into the major financial institutions in Australia to ensure a fair and just system is created for the Australian consumers. Hefty fines are imposed when they find companies to be non-compliant, which can have serious repercussions. And today's expert will share insights on running an Australian compliance and legal consultancy firm with clients across Australia and beyond. And their specialty is assisting firms establish and maintain a financial services business in Australia. And as you know, we bring you the industry leaders, successful business owners, all under the one roof to help you discover the insights of the stock markets. So today we're very lucky to have Ms. Sophie Gerber on the show. Welcome, Sophie.
Thank you very much for having me. Sorry, I'm a bit casual today because we're in lockdown in Sydney at the moment, so not dressed up as much as usual.
Totally understandable. And I hope you're coping with lockdown and working from home conditions.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Lots to do, thankfully, so keeps you distracted.
Excellent. Well, let's keep you busy and hear some of those valuable insights that you can share with us about maintaining compliance in Australian financial businesses. Thank you for joining us again. And would you please elaborate on the range of financial services that you offer at Sophie Grace, please?
Yeah, so we are a consultancy based in Sydney. So we're a group of lawyers. We have a firm that does compliance services as well as legal services. So we help people with establishing an Australian financial services license or a credit license, or which is for being a issuer of loans, so lending out money to consumers, or also being a mortgage broker. We also help people with their AUSTRAC registration and compliance, so that applies to AFSL and ACL holders, but it also applies to people who are doing remittance services, so sending money overseas, or being a digital currency exchange. So that digital currency is the term they use for the cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we help people with getting those registrations or licenses, and then maintaining those registrations and licenses. For the AFSLs and ACLs, they're registered with ASIC, and ASIC has a lot of rules which mostly come under the Corporations Act or the NCCP Act, and those rules are voluminous. There's lots of them, and they can be difficult to keep on top of. So we help our clients with implementing the policies and procedures to stay on top of that.
Exactly. What an important role you play in helping those businesses to stay compliant, because things are continuously being updated and changing as the economy scales. And we've seen the emergence of cryptocurrencies, like you mentioned, and more digitisation. So it's important that all the staff, as well as the managers, are all on top of the changes and are able to adapt. So on that note, could you give us your expert views, please, on the new trends in development finance through private capital?
Yeah, so I think what we're seeing across the board in the market is that people are becoming much more aware of the impact of what they're investing in. And so the market is adapting to respond to that. So people are much more interested in things, what they also call the ESG, so the environmental, social and governance issues around their investments. So people are concerned or take a view where they used to not take a view about tobacco, alcohol, environmental businesses that impact on mining. So people have views on that, and people want to see their investments put into things that are aligned with their values. So what we're seeing from our business is that people are wanting to start businesses that cater to those desires which are coming out in the market.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing your insights. And the insider's opinion is so important because you're working in the space every day and seeing the trends emerging and changing and the patterns that it's creating in the space. So in your opinion, how is the market doing currently for the new financial services businesses that are emerging and their establishment and structuring? Are they being able to sustain business during these times?
Look, I think the establishment of a funds management business is particularly difficult. Um, it's expensive, and if you haven't been involved in the market before, it can cost you a lot of money to get started, and then also to maintain that business. So what we're seeing is that people, if they're wanting to enter into the market and they haven't been in it before, they're finding it much more difficult than they thought it would be. But that also means that the cost of innovating and the cost of setting up these products where you don't have a big infrastructure behind you, it can be prohibitive. And so the development of these types of products is being hampered by that. But I think in the long run, we'll see them thrive. The other issue that we're seeing is that there's people who want to cater to these demands, but just aren't able to do so at this point because they don't fully understand the deep meaning of ESG and development finance, and so they might be trying to take shortcuts in that regard.
Right, that's very interesting for you to bring up there. And ESG has been more in focus, especially in the mining sector, but it's interesting to see how it's also impacting the financial services industry as well. So in the world of cyberspace, how does Sophie Grace assist its clients for distribution and marketing, please?
So the way we assist clients is that we're helping them to understand the new regime which is coming in at the beginning of October, which is called the Design and Distribution Obligations under ASIC. So that's a big one, which is impacting on anyone who's distributing products to retail clients in Australia or from Australia. You have to be much more targeted in the way that you distribute your products. First of all, that way you create your products, making sure that they're properly documented and targeted, and then that you distribute your products in accordance with that. So we help people with understanding that. We also help people with marketing their products in the sense that we help them go through all the different criteria that applies to the marketing of financial services products. So there's words you need to be very careful about using. There's disclaimers which need to go on. There's your license numbers which need to go on these documents. If there's past performance issues mentioned in the marketing materials, those also need to be covered off in the documentation as well. So that we have a very big checklist of things that people need to keep in mind when they're marketing financial products. So yeah, there's quite a lot of work that needs to be done checking marketing materials and publications that firms put out before they go to market, because otherwise, as you'll see if you follow the ASIC news, people do get in trouble for improperly marketing and distributing their products and for using the wrong words. Misleading and deceptive conduct is another key issue that ASIC has a focus on. So yeah, we help our clients with making sure they can stay out of trouble with their marketing and distribution of products.
Yes, that's such an important role to play. And I think it's interesting to see that some businesses are actually having a keen focus on making terms and conditions and things like product disclosure statements a bit more friendly and easier to read, rather than just being pages and pages of black and white writing, which can be a bit daunting for some people. So in the past 1 year, which industry has given you the maximum clientele and why, in your opinion?
Look, over the years we've been operating, it changes as consumer demand and the media shift. So we are seeing a lot of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin at the moment, people wanting to move into that space, either through setting up the cryptocurrency exchanges or setting up a funds management business to help people with getting access to those products without actually directly purchasing the Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency, because there's a lot of complications around a direct investment in those products. So people are looking to try and make it easier. We're seeing a lot of financial planners moving from big institutions to setting up their own firms, and just general compliance and comprehension of just the sheer number of rules that I mentioned. That also keeps us particularly busy. But despite COVID and the lockdowns and the major disruption that we've been seeing, there has been a lot of new demand for setting up businesses and licenses. So that's been really promising. I think that there are some people who've taken the opportunity to reassess what they want to do and how they want to do it, which has seen us luckily have a steady demand of people coming through for support with licensing. So we're very grateful for that we've been able to keep busy with attending to that demand. And they're just, as I mentioned, there's a lot of rules that are coming in. There's a big set of rules which are starting at the beginning of October, which are being implemented by ASIC. So just new rules as well. They keep us particularly busy in the last 18 months, and I expect that will be the same for the next 12 to 18 months, just helping people with processing those requirements.
Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing those insights, especially about the new rules that are due to come out from ASIC. That's incredibly valuable. So if people out there running financial services business were wanting to get in touch with you or keep on top of these changes from ASIC, how would you suggest they do so, just quickly before we wind up?
Oh, it depends how you like to communicate. So we've got a pretty good website where people can chat on the website. People are always answering the phone and emails. So yeah, we're always happy to speak to people who are involved in the space or want to get in the space. If we can't help people, we're always pointing people in the direction of other people who are best suited to assisting them. So yeah, we're here and we're happy to assist people.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Sophie, for making time for the show today. Really do appreciate your insights.
Great. Have a good day.
Thank you. And viewers, if you've just joined us, we just had a very insightful discussion with Ms. Sophie Grace. Ms. Sophie Gerber, I beg your pardon, the co-CEO of Sophie Grace, and she runs a Australian compliance and legal consultancy firm. If you'd like to hear the full discussion regarding Sophie Grace's services, please head to YouTube, Kalkine Media, where you can gain it there later today. And as we say, stay apprised and invest wise with Kalkine.